think the major part of that, first of all, is coming in without any preconceived ideas about how that person's going to be or how that team might look. And my point would always be listening intently to everybody, and everybody's got a role within that team, whether it be a player, the caddy, a coach, is listening to people's views and getting as best understanding as you can of the player's environment. So to see where there might be strengths, weaknesses, areas where perhaps you could intervene, but you've not been invited to intervene there yet. So you're just forming a professional opinion. So listening, observing, and I guess everybody has different needs. So what you're trying to do, first of all, is to realise that as every player is unique, every team is unique. So what you're looking for is, first of all, is what do the players want from you? You might have ideas about what your skills are, but they may not want all of those things. Now you're faced with a decision then as about, well, do I want to be involved? And you can make it, I'd make it quite clear, well, I think, I could do X, Y, Z, or I'd give them a professional opinion. But to integrate yourself into a team, first of all, I think it's really important, first of all, that you're humble. That if you're going to work as part of a team, I always think of a team is everybody's got a role to play. And therefore, whilst you have some unique skills, there is other areas that are certainly as a psych are way beyond your competence. So the sort of horror stories I've heard of sports psych in golf over the years, and that's been 20 years plus, is where psychologists have come in and they've encroached into other areas of the team. So inadvertently they've been doing a bit of coaching. Inadvertently they'll be stepping on the caddy's toes. Inadvertently they'll also be advising on X, Y, Z. And actually they're going beyond what their remit is and their area of expertise or their professional qualification. And so what I've always been cautious to do and respectful is actually I'm a psychologist, and that's what I'm being employed to do. So I might have an opinion on something else, but that's not my role. And so I'm very, very careful and respectful of other people, that if I feel I've got something to give or an observation to make, I do that in the right way. And there is a humility about that. The best coaches I work with are the best psychologists. They're great communicators, they're good at forming relationships, but they also recognise when a particular issue is beyond their competency. So if it's let's say you felt a player was putting himself under so much pressure and you tried to talk to him around it, and as a coach, all the message you'd give him, but you felt it wasn't having an effect, then you wouldn't be working your best for the player if you didn't try and find somebody to them who could help more unearth what's going on there. And likewise, if I were working with a player and I felt the issue was more technically based, or perhaps it was a clinical issue, and I'm not a clinical psychologist, I'd be doing a disservice to the player if I didn't try and refer them. And I've done that, not on many occasions, but on several occasions where I felt, I could sit with this person for 6 months and I don't think I'd have the effect I'd want to have. And therefore, it's disingenuous and lacks integrity to do that. And players aren't fools. They realise when coaches are genuine, when they have integrity, when they care about them, when they want the need. And you can do that in so many easy ways.